Everybody I've ever known in my entire life have always had an ID. But you know, according to Georgia, if you ain't got an ID, then you ain't black.
You ain't black.
And you ain't black.
You ain't lying about that, Goldie. What is going on with this Georgia situation? I mean, it's a soft bigotry of low expectations all over again, saying that basically black people don't know how to get an ID again. We're going through this again. Deja vu.
According to the White House, this is Jim Crow on steroids.
Right.
And this is like Jim
No.
Eagle.
Yeah. Not according to the White House. It's according to Jim Crow Joe that it's Jim Crow laws. Yeah. Jim Crow Joe. Talking about Jim Crow laws. That's what it is.
Also, at what point can we stop saying that this is the soft bigotry of low expectations and call it hard bigotry?
I love it.
It's actually insulting.
No, it's real.
Yeah. Like, it's just plain old insulting.
It's insulting, and it's just another indication of how the Democrats innately see black people. They see us as crippled. They see us as literally disabled.
Right.
They have to think for us because we can't think for ourselves.
Cannot. It's a white savior complex of these white liberals thinking that they have to do everything for us. I mean, look at the way that they're talking about us. And the whole country is like, well, the whole country as far as liberalism is getting behind this. They're trying to say that we are incompetent, that we don't know how to do for ourselves, that we don't know how to go to the daggone DMV, stand in line and get an ID card. Are you kidding me?
I can't lie. Like, I don't want to stand in line. So
I mean, they got online registration. They got everything. You know, I challenge anybody to come up with a situation or a scenario where it is even possible to where a black person couldn't get an ID, because I don't believe getting or obtaining an ID can be tied to any specific group. It can't be tied to race. It can't be tied to your income. No matter. You even have homeless people of all nationalities that have an ID because that's how they receive their benefits. Right?
Now, I know for me, I need to get. I need my ID when I get on the airline to come here. I need that. Like,
Thank you.
That's not. Is that not racist? Am I going to go to the ticket counter and say, "Oh, you're being racist because you're requiring an ID from me"? How dare you?
And also don't forget, this was the premise under which we justified Obama phones. We justified public paid for internet access because people need access to the internet to be able to register to vote. And then now, once they've gotten the massive expansion of welfare programs, they're coming back and saying, oh, well, using those welfare programs is racist.
Right.
Thank you.
You know,
exactly.
It's literally, we got fleeced for a bunch of extra money, told we're racist if we don't give out the money for Obama phones. But then the second you say, well, everybody has a phone, so everybody can call in and register, now you're called racist.
Right. But what's even more ridiculous is the fact that now you have major corporations that are jumping on this bandwagon and calling this law, which is just crazy. They're calling it racist, right? Now, this is going to show that corporations actually have more power than the people, than the voting people, even more power than the government. Why are corporations dictating how voting laws should go? You have Delta getting behind it, MLB getting behind it. This is crazy.
This is insane.
Get an ID and vote or don't vote.
Well, and actually, we didn't talk about this in show prep, but it has a lot to do with what Clarence Thomas said about technology companies actually becoming a parallel governance now. We have a parallel government now of woke corporations that can do a better job of enforcing wokeness than the U.S. government ever could.
You got it.
Because we're finally starting to get actually some civil disobedience against the U.S. government. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That is very true. That is very true.
You know, my whole aspect of this is that it's just the ignorance of it. It's like I don't want to respond to it because it's like, now Candace Owens talks about it all the time and she's always beating the horn on this specific topic. I know that we have to address it because we combat the narrative, but isn't this common sense?
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm at a certain point where I'm like, this is common sense.
But like they say, common sense ain't common for everybody.
No, it's really not.
It definitely ain't common for Democrats.
They say that common sense is so uncommon as to be classified as a daggone superpower. And I agree.
Yeah.
We all have superpowers.
It's a talent.
It's a talent.
It really is. It's a skill. You have to learn it. It's like street smarts. Everybody can be book smart and they can get straight A's, but you tell them to sweep and they sweep on the wrong side of the broom. You know the broom where, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? No, I'm talking about the front part of the broom.
Right.
Where, like, it has to be at the top, but then they like switch it and they're doing the bottom part of the broom, they're sweeping, and I'm like, do you know how to sweep? And it's like, yeah, I've done it when I was 8 years old, and I'm like, you ain't street smart.
It's like what did Will Smith say in iRobot? You are the smartest dumb person I've ever met. And that's what it is. You meet these smart, dumb people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, and for the average people, I know what they're doing on the higher level. Yeah. On the higher level, they're doing it in a sophisticated approach to change the narrative, and I get all that from the standpoint. But like people on the ground that actually believe this, it's just like, wow, you really have to learn common sense. It's really a trait. It's really a skill that you have to be a part of it.
Since we're still talking about the Georgia law, like, do you guys want to see the clip of Ben Carson?
Let's play it.
I mean, because I really think we just at some point need to start asking, okay, you say it's racist. What is racist about it?
What's your reaction to Rich Lowry's piece and to those sound bites that you just heard?
Well, I think Rich Lowry is right on target. And it's very sad that some of our leaders, and particularly the leader of the free world, would be involved in disseminating information that is untrue. I wonder if these...
Okay, we got to pause for 1 second while Ben Carson is talking. Is it just me, or does he literally just put you to sleep no matter what he's saying?
Well, I'll be real with you. Right now.
A very calming, psychologist way of talking.
I'm going to be real with you right now, because this is a very touchy subject. When it comes to black people, there's two different sides of Ben Carson. And I'm going to be real with both sides, okay? Yeah. He's very knowledgeable. He knows what he's talking about. He's a good guy on the good side, but from black people, there's two different perspectives. Yeah. It's like, yes, he's doing a great job, great, and then the other ones are like, this guy talks very white. I mean, like the whitest person I've ever heard in my life. I'm sorry, but that's just the two comparisons about this guy.
He's the Bob Ross of politics, okay? He's the Bob Ross. Let him paint his picture. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, let's see what he has to say. Let's see what he has to say.
I'm saying he's talking. He speaks like a white guy. I'm not saying that. I'm saying black people are like, there's certain black people like, bro, like spice it up a little bit, you know, get a little slang in there.
Yeah, my boy, Ben.
Sorry, I just had to do it.
The man talks the way he talks. Come on.
I had to do it.
Okay, Ben,
let it roll.
Let's see what Ben has to say.
Actually understand history. Do they know what Jim Crow laws actually were? They were a mechanism to diminish the rights that many blacks had gained during Reconstruction.
Even Marshall McCallum is trying to stay away.
And the things that people went through in those days were horrendous.
Yeah, we get the gist. Okay, so
major corporations are actually influencing people on how to feel.
Next time I want to work a grave shift, I'm going to put on this clip. At 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's what you want to do during a grave shift. Because you're going to
fall asleep. Hold on. I didn't finish my thought. I didn't finish my thought. I said, next time I have a grave, I'm going to put that clip on, and I'm at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's going to give me a nap before I go to work. I promise you. And I'm sorry. I love you, Ben Carson. I love you to death, bro. You're a real one.
I think this is the first time in one of our shows where we literally stopped a clip because we thought it was so boring.
We can't get to that.
I like what he said about Jim Crow, because what it is when it comes to Jim Crow, and this is what people are comparing it to. This is what people in the White House are comparing it to, Jim Crow. This is not, and to do that is doing racism back in the day a disservice. All the civil rights acts and things of that nature that came about, they're doing it a disservice to sit here and say that this is Jim Crow. And I hate when they diminish the efficacy of what we did and what we stood against when it comes to Jim Crow. I hate when they do this, man.
And we know what it is. It's just the Democrats. They don't want a free, fair election with IDs, with all that. So they turn it around, and of course, like they did in the big steal, right? The big switch, right? They point the blame and point at you and say that you are the bad person, or you are the racist, or this is a racist thing. When in actuality, everybody can go to DMV, everybody can get an ID, and it's a tactic to say, well, bad man over here, that's why we're doing this. Or bad man over there, that's why we're doing this. So at the end of the day, I think when it comes to this, they are really the Jim Crow pushers. And speaking of Jim Crow, how about back then when there was Jim Crow?
You ain't black.
And you ain't black.